welcome from my end. I'm Mika. Today we will be talking about WhatsApp menus and especially how we can implement these with Superchat automation to really kind of get your time back and streamline your most common questions, or also to route conversations to the right department, right team. And we will also cover a lot of other use cases, how we see already a lot of companies using Superchat that leverage these WhatsApp lists or menus to really streamline the entire conversation, customer communication, basically. Nice. So as more people are coming in, again, on the right-hand side is the chat. Please feel free to use it. And then I guess let's not waste any time and let's get started. So let me share my screen really quick. Then we already jump into Super Chat and we'll actually take a look at what we are building today. So here, as you can see, I'm in Super Chat. And today I will build the automation with you. So I didn't really prepare anything so that you can actually also see how I go about building these kind of automations and kind of also my thinking behind it. And I will do it based on use case of a restaurant because I think that's very easy to grasp. Because everyone knows, a restaurant might have a lot of customer requests when it comes to booking a table with bigger groups, in general reservations, and many more questions. So like there, we will take a look how we can actually build this. So I guess let's start with going into automations, and then we can go from there. So new automation. And now the first thing that we always have to do, of course, is to come up with the trigger and define the trigger. That's usually almost the hardest part because also with the menus, I see us consulting a lot of companies how they should use them, and then there are different approaches on how to actually do it. When do I want to show the menu? The first time a customer is messaging me, but I also might want to show it for the next customer ticket or like issue that we want to resolve from the customer. So here I think there's one best practice that's definitely working across all industries, across all use cases. And that's basically having one automation that's being triggered the very first time that a customer is messaging us. So if we never talk to the customer, we want then to route them. And in this case, we might actually also want to, switch up the conversation, the automation slightly to recurring like tickets and issues that the customers are having. And exactly that we are now looking into. So the first automation of two that we are going to build today is we will be first looking at when a new contact is messaging us. So like here, I will now kind of call it first ticket. Because it's kind of like a ticketing. Of course, it's like an ongoing conversation, but it's kind of the first ticket, the first time customer is messaging us. And that we will always do with the trigger new incoming conversation. So like here, the difference between the trigger new incoming conversation and new incoming message is that with the new incoming conversation trigger, we will only trigger the automation for the very first inbound message of the contact. So this you can kind of use for a welcome sequence or for like the menu thing that we are doing now. But it's kind of letting the contact know, hey, we got your message, we will get back to you shortly, but in order for you to get help faster, please already give us a little bit of feedback what you are looking for or how we can actually help you. So here today we will focus primarily on WhatsApp. Of course, you can also build it with all other channels, but I think WhatsApp is definitely the biggest channel message volume wise for our customers. So let's concentrate on this one today. So Superchat WhatsApp, I select this number here, and then For everyone that's not very familiar with Superchat automations, it's pretty simple. Like, there's definitely a learning curve, but it always starts with a trigger. The trigger is the event that starts the automation. And then here you can always see these little dots. Now here with drag and drop, we now can start actually building all the things that we actually want to automate. So now let's go ahead and drag and drop. And then here in the menu, you can see you can select a whole bunch of actions that we can now automate. So from adding labels to handing over the conversation to the AI chatbot, receiving data from the contact, and many, many more. In our case, we will keep it kind of simple now. We will now work with either the WhatsApp quick response or the WhatsApp list node. So here, the biggest difference between these two is that I will show it to you actually, because I think it's easier to understand. So this is not something that we came up with. It's actually, Meta supported message types, and also like all the limitations that I will show you. It's not limitations on Superchat side. It's just like that Meta said, hey, we have these two types of messages. And you can use them via the business API, and that's it. So here for the WhatsApp quick response, you are able to add a headline. So here you can either add an image, a PDF, a video, or like a title. And here, let's say, welcome to, again, we will do it like on the use case of a restaurant. We would use it with Night Kitchen. It's a restaurant here in Berlin. So here, kind of, welcoming the new contact that sent us a new message. And then here we can now define the trigger. And now really quick to finish my proper comparison between the WhatsApp quick response and the WhatsApp list node is here for WhatsApp quick responses. I can here add up to 4 options. So here, when we now route, so like this is of course the menu. Here we are limited to 3 like options that the end customer can click. And with WhatsApp list, with the WhatsApp list node, we actually have up to 10 sections. Here you can also see for the end customer, it looks a little bit different. For the WhatsApp quick response, you can see the options right away. Here you can see exactly how it also will look like for your contact on WhatsApp. And for WhatsApp lists, here again, here I'm not able to work with attachments in the headline, only with a headline. Welcome to Night Kitchen. And then here I now have to define a button, so probably select. And here I can now add up to 10 options. And also each option can actually has like a description. This is a description. Now, as you see, this is then how it will look like on WhatsApp. So like here, the end customer or your customer then needs to click on the select, and then here you can list all your options. So especially like if you want to route the customer to a specific department and you want to have more than 3 options, you would opt always for the WhatsApp list, and then you are still limited to 10 options. But like here you can do one more nice thing, is to actually divide everything in section. So here you can see it's now section 1. And then here it's section 2, and then you have like kind of divider between the options. Again, then you can have 10 sections with 1 option each, or like 2 sections with 5 options each, for example. So like here you are very flexible, just makes it a little bit more organized and easier for the end customer again to find the option that he's looking for. Exactly. I hope that makes sense. Let me check the chat really quick. Everything is fine here. Nice. So perfect. I think this is very important to understand. The differences between the two, when you should use the WhatsApp quick response node and when you should actually use the WhatsApp list node. In our case, again, we will keep it rather simple today. So we will opt for the WhatsApp quick response node with having 4 options here. Now let's go ahead and come up with something. Hi there. How can we help you today? now here, what we might want to have is reserve. Like in my case, I will now really try to streamline the customer communication, not only route the conversation. Of course, what we can now also build is, for example, you are a dentist and you have multiple locations, but only one WhatsApp number. The contact or the patient is writing you via WhatsApp. Then you might want to ask first here via these options to which to which location they actually want to talk to. So then you would probably go ahead here, say, hey, Manchester or another city. This is another use case, but we will stick to the restaurant one. So reserve a table. What else do we have? We have probably always, contact support, or I have a question. And another one might be events. Book event. Nice. I'm happy with that. So now here we can kind of now, continue the automation and reserve. R is missing, reserve. Here we go. And now what we want to do, of course, is kind of, define follow-up action for each option that we provided here. One more thing that you can find in the advanced settings is that you are able to customize this time period. So, if the contact hasn't responded for a certain amount of time, we might also, want to follow up with the customer, or mark the conversation as done, for example. So this time period here, this duration, you are able to adjust with minutes, hours, days, and then just the input here. And one more thing that's very nice is you can make the options mandatory. So as you can see here, when enabling this, you can see we can decide how many retries the contact should have, and we can also define and customize the error message. What does this mean? So basically here, when this is enabled and now the customer writes something like, hey, sends an image, for example, the sending an image is, of course, not clicking one of these buttons, and then we throw this arrow saying, hey, please select one of the given options. If he sends an image or voice message for 4 times, then you can just continue the automation here and assign the conversation to a human so that he can follow up with the customer by, giving him a call, for example. Exactly. So that's it. We will actually keep it enabled. I think for our use case, it makes a lot of sense. And then here, reserve a table. So here, what we might want to do is probably you have some kind of, booking tool that you are using. So here, what I would then do is just say, hey, send message, and then probably say, hey, that's fantastic. Please find table via this link. And then here we will now Exactly. So once the user clicks on reserve a table, we will then automatically send him a link to your booking tool, where he then is able to book a table. And then afterwards we could build yet another automation to then follow up with that customer as soon as he booked a table, and to also kind of streamline the entire updating the booking appointment, canceling the appointment, etc. But this is not part of today's webinar. So here, book an event. What we might want to do here is to first, ask a couple of follow-up questions. For this, we can use the ask question node. So here, what comes up to my mind is, for example, fantastic. With how many people do you want to celebrate? I don't know. Here you can very easily use kind of our own ChatGPT within Superchat and let's say improve writing style. So that probably sounds better. Then here, so we are asking how many people would like to invite. How many people would you like to invite to celebrate? And then here we are looking for a number, and then here, similar to what I just showed you, here again 3 retries, and then here we throw an error message saying please provide a number. And this we could then even save as a contact attribute here. Let's actually do it. Let's go back into the settings, contact attribute, then here team size booking, and this is the number. Now in automations we can actually save this number that we are getting back from this question then to this exact contact attribute. Done. So after that, what else do we want to do here is probably do one more follow-up question, is, I don't know, what's a quick response, and here we will be asking for what kind of event is this. Probably the other way around. Let's actually change it. Want to have it nice. So first we ask for the kind of event. We are using, and this time we are using a WhatsApp list node. What kind of event is this for? And then here we do select, and then here we say birthday, I don't know, wedding, like a business event, or what else is there, or other. And then here we go ahead, and then here we probably also want to update this, to a contact attribute. So this we can do then with an update contact node, and then afterwards we ask the question of how many people are attending this event. So here what we now have to do is we want to do this again, like quick responses should be mandatory. Please select one of the given options. So again, when the end customer is not clicking on any of the options, but instead write something else, we always send them a message with that copy, and then he can hopefully the next time clicks on one of these options. So now here, what we are doing here is now we are saving whatever we are getting back here to event type, we will call it, and this is a string. And then here, so we will update the contact with the information that we are getting back here. So as you can see here, what contact attribute do we want to update? It's the one that I just created, event type. And then we want to set it manually to this. So like here, we can now select the variable, and we want to set this to the response from this node. So if I now click on it, you can see answer from WhatsApp list, and that's exactly this node. And now when the contact or the end customer clicks on birthday, we will actually update the contact with birthday in this case, for example. I hope that makes sense. Nice. Then I have another question. What we might now want to do here is to actually, we want to first try to solve the issue with an AI chatbot before actually handing over the conversation to a human, just to really streamline everything. So what we would do now here is just, say, hey, please talk to the AI chatbot, and then done. And then if the contact doesn't reply within 23 hours, we just want to close the conversation, mark the conversation as done. And in case the retries expire, we will just also mark it as done, because then something is off and someone's probably just playing around with our automation. Exactly. So I hope this is kind of good so far, also for you to understand. Let's jump back. One question is the WhatsApp Quick Note 3 or 4 options. So the WhatsApp Quick Note is always 3 options, and the WhatsApp List Note is always up to 10 options. Exactly. Nice. So let's do one final step here for the first automation, and then we jump to the second automation, and that will be a lot of copy paste. So once you understood this, and the second one, it will be very, very easy. So here now for the AI chatbot node, we want to first create one. I think I already have a lot here, but let's create one together really quick because it only takes 1 second, and you will see it already will work very, very good. So webinar night kitchen support. So like this is the name of the AI chatbot. And now I will click on continue. Then here in the first step for everyone that's not working with our AI chatbot yet, here is now we will tell the AI chatbot how you should behave and what its responsibilities and tasks are. So we will say you are Tom, a friendly support bot for the restaurant Night Kitchen in Berlin. You are always super friendly and nice and support customers with all questions. So like here, of course, I could now be a lot more specific. So like I could really say, hey, always start with introducing yourself and be a bit funny and quirky. I hope quirky is right. And quirky. So here, as you can see, I can now also say, hey, please never use emojis. Talk in this very particular way. Please do like these steps first. So like here, you can be now very, very specific. We keep it kind of simple for now. So now here in the last step, we are now able to, add knowledge for the AI chatbot so that he's actually capable of answering all questions, either in form of uploading a document or actually connecting the website. So here, this is the website. We will now add it here. And what we are now doing in the background is basically we will get all the relevant data from the website and make it accessible to the AI chatbot so that he has really all the knowledge that he needs in order to respond accurately. So that's already it. So as you can see, it only took like 1 or 2 minutes. Of course, now goes a little bit time into fine-tuning everything, but we won't fine-tune anything now. You will already see it will work very, very stable. Perfect. So here, as you can see, we are now in the detailed settings of that AI chatbot. Here's the name and the prompt. And now we can just test it. Hi there. I want to book. I don't know. I have a question. So now the AI chatbot is thinking, and in a second I will get an answer saying, "Hello there, I'm Tom, your friendly neighborhood support bot for Night Kitchen in Berlin. I'm like the Robin to your Batman, but with more kitchen flair. What's cooking? How can I help you today?" So as you can see, I prompted him with always start with introducing yourself and be a bit funny and quirky. So that's exactly what he did. What kind of kitchen do you offer? So here you can also now already see that he actually has all the data because we connected the website. So it's like a Israeli Tel Aviv place. So here are the Night Kitchen in Berlin is a culinary delight. We offer a vibrant taste of Tel Aviv's nightlife and gastro scene, etc. So amazing. I'm happy with that. And now we can actually use this chatbot in automations. And here you can see all the knowledge that we gathered from the website. So now let's go back and actually use that AI chatbot in our automation that we built. So here it was webinar night kitchen support. Here we could now add even more run instructions, providing even more details on how he should proceed. If it's individual to that respective to that individual automation. In our case, there's nothing to add here. Then same thing here, once the contact hasn't responded for X amount of time, we can then always continue the automation here. And then here we have two very nice things at the bottom, are human handover and issue resolution. With human handover, you can see it here, automatically detects when the contact wants to speak to a human. If we enable this, pay close attention to here this dot. If I now enable it, you can see here a follow-up note with when contact asks for human help. So there our AI automatically detects when the customer is saying something like, hey, please connect me with a human, or I don't want to talk to a bot anymore. And then we can just go ahead and, for example, send a message saying, no worries, someone from the team will be in touch shortly. And then afterwards, we might want to assign the conversation so that, someone from our team, in this case, me, are just, notified so that I can, respond manually to the customer. Oh, no, I navigated back. So let's go here again. And then the other one is issue resolution. So here we automatically detect when the customer issue has been resolved by the AI chatbot. And then, the AI chatbot will maybe ask a follow-up question on, hey, is there anything else I can help you with? In case that's not the case, we can then just continue the automation here and then mark the conversation as done again. So here you can see when the conversation has ended. So the issue was resolved. I'm always going back here. Then we also mark the conversation as done. So this already a little bit more of a complex automation, although it doesn't really have so many nodes. But now we build like a very, very nice automation for kind of handling all the common requests that we are getting now for this restaurant. So reserving a table, booking an event, and then in general, like support bot. Of course, like here we can now also continue, with a message when they are trying to book an event saying, hey, thank you so much for providing all the data. We assigned the conversation to someone from our team who will be in touch shortly again. So like here, I'm really scratching the surface, but I think like with this, you can get a very good view on how this actually works. Perfect. Let's actually go ahead and publish this. So like here, I'm missing this one. Let's see if there are other errors. No, that looks fine. Now we can already go ahead and test this one. And then afterwards, we will just, in a couple of minutes, because that's not a lot of work then anymore, do it with the next one. So let's go ahead and test this first. I think I have to delete my contact really quick. So like this is my test account. Therefore, like all the data here is a little bit wild. So let's go ahead and I will now write the WhatsApp number that we have set this up with. So let's go ahead and actually scan this QR code and write a message. So again, like the trigger was only for the first message of a conversation. That's also the reason why I just deleted my contact. So here you can see now this is my message saying hi. This was the very first message of the conversation. We were never in contact with this customer yet. And now here you can see everything. So here you can see the automation that's active, the first ticket one that we've just created. And then here it's exactly now what we've read. So welcome to Night Kitchen. Hi there. How can we help you today? Let's now actually go through like booking one for booking an event. I will add the, what was it, event size. And what else did we ask for? The type. Exactly. I will pin these really quick so that we can see them here. And now I will just say here on WhatsApp, I will click on book event. And now the bot should ask me for here, what kind of event is this for? I would say it's business. And the next question should be how many people are attending. Now I will try to trick the automation saying, 5, like in writing. So here you can see 5. And now here, the error message is please provide a number. So it's fine. 5. Perfect. See, the automation is now completed. And now if we just, navigate somewhere else and back, you can also see like that these attributes were updated. See team size booking 5 and event type is business. So now I gathered the information and I kind of already streamlined the entire, first part that you are still currently doing manually. Exactly, that's it. We can also go through one of the other paths while testing in a second. But now the problem is, like customers, have questions and issues on an ongoing basis. It's not only the first time that they are messaging you. So how do we now set up an automation, that, is triggered again for, whenever the customer might has another issue, but not while we are currently still, maybe helping the customer out manually. So this we will do in the following way, is how most companies work, and that's really by far the best way, is like all open issues come into open. So like here at some point, now like the team might handle the rest of the conversation manually, because the customer still has like some questions regarding the business event, whatnot. And at some point when everything is done, I can just set the conversation to done. And now what I always want is, as soon as the customer is opening the conversation again by sending another inbound message, so like basically doing this. So here me saying now I have another question. This is always the perfect time to show the menu again. We can then also customize it again a little bit, that it looks slightly different to whatever menu we implemented for the first time. But now we want to actually kickstart another automation again, and that's exactly what we are going to look into now. So we can kind of duplicate this automation. So we will duplicate it. Now we say recurring ticket. I think the other one was first ticket, and that's a recurring ticket. That's perfect. Now we have to change the trigger here. So we will change it to conversation reopen by new incoming message. Where is it? Here. Contact reopens completed conversation. So that we will now do, and that's exactly what we want. So here, how this trigger works is basically as soon as the contact already has a conversation in your Superchat account, the conversation is then done, basically exactly what I just showed you, and sends another message. By sending this message, this conversation is of course automatically moved from done to open again. We will trigger yet another automation. So here now, as I just said, we can now customize it for like a recurring ticket. In our case, we want to keep it exactly the same. So we can now publish this one as well. Now we have to fill in the data here really quick because they lost it. Done. No, not done yet. One more. Then it should be done. So perfect. Done. So there's one warning, a channel discrepancy. That's fine, that you can ignore. And now we will just publish it. Now it's done. So like the recurring ticket one is now also already published. And now we can, now we helped out the customer, let's say, and then we will do this. And now I will demonstrate this again. I write yet another message saying I have another question, and now you can see the other automation recurring ticket was triggered. So again, here, welcome to Night Kitchen. And now what we might want to do is say, I have a question. Now the AI chatbot should respond in a second. So here we go. The AI chatbot wrote, "Hi there, I'm Tom, your friendly nightbot support bot with a sprinkle of humor. What's your question? I'm here to help." And what might happen now is that I'm writing, I want to talk to the support team. And now, as we set up the AI chatbot in a way that when a customer asks for a human agent, we will now send a message saying, hey, our team will be in touch shortly. Here it just came in. No worries, someone from the team will be in touch shortly. And now, as you can also see, I was assigned to the conversation. And now, it's time again for me to kind of handle this conversation. And as soon as everything is done yet, I always have to remember to set the conversation to done, so that if the customer in 2 weeks time, 3 weeks time has yet another question, the same automation is triggered yet again. That's it. The only thing that you have to be aware of here is, and I already set it up in that way, but kind of accidentally, to be honest, is, every time that the conversation is resolved without a human touch, for example, here the AI chatbot, when the conversation has ended, we always have to make sure that we then also mark the conversation as done here as part of the automation. So because otherwise, we are not, like doing it manually, and then the conversation is an open, and what might then happen is, the contact writes another message in 3 weeks time, and then no automation is triggered. Of course, like all your agents and your team will still see them and then know to respond and then mark them as done again. But then, it could be even more automated. So that's the way of doing it. Exactly. So honestly, that's already it. I hope that was insightful. And as always, now I'm open to all kinds of questions. Any questions, or like also maybe things that are not related to this topic? I still have 20 minutes, so I'm also happy to help out with anything. Also, like if you want to see like any other automations, we can even build it now live here in the next 20 minutes. So please don't be shy, and yeah, ask anything. No questions yet. Doesn't seem that anyone has a question, but I still will be here for a couple of minutes, so no rush. So nice. Thanks, Murphy, for your question. The question is, this has been helpful so far. Can you show an automation that adds the chat to a particular inbox, say complaints, and label it as well? Yeah, very good case. Let's do that as well. I think there are multiple ways on doing it. I will show you two, what we are currently seeing, what works best for most customers. So there's either add the chat to a particular inbox and say compliance and label it as well. Yeah, perfect, nice. So there are two ways how you can do it. It's basically one way of doing it is making it part of your automation that I just showed you. Here. Let's stick to this one. So, here I said earlier, what you can do is here first ask always, the user where he wants to be redirected to. So kind of, giving the user the, power of, deciding which department he should be routed to. And then accordingly here, you can then, use the move to inbox node. And then, you might have, or I'm always going back, and then here, let's actually do it really quick. So here, again, what you might have is, you have the conversation, new incoming conversation. Then here you have a quick response saying, hey, what department do you want to talk to? And then here you have, HR, sales, support. So like here, of course, you always give, the end customer the power of him deciding, proactively where he wants to get routed. That's like the one thing that you can do. And then here, what you would do is say, hey, inbox to have HR here, recruiting, I have. And then here you would add a label. So that's very proactive from the customer. But there's also another way. Is kind of to set an automation, so a new automation, and do it based on whatever the users are writing you. So like here, what I would then do is let's do it with a churn case. So let's say I want to kind of predict every time that a customer wants to churn for whatever reason or cancel his plan. What I then can do is when the contact sends a message, so via this channel. So here the trigger will now change from new incoming conversation to really new incoming message. So every time the contact writes us a message via this WhatsApp number, Superchat WhatsApp, we will then only listen to specific messages. So here what we want to do is contains any of, contains one of. And then here, I want to terminate. Let's ask GPT what are words customers would use when trying to cancel or churn. Only give me the keywords. So always working with ChatGPT, of course, because I'm lazy. So here, okay, I won't do everything, but here, you get the point. You can just, come up with all these yourself. Money back is a good one. Downgrade. Downgrade. So here what now happens again is for every new incoming message via the selected channels here, we check the message, and as soon as the message contains one of these, you can also change the operation here, of course, like the filter criteria. Then we want to do the following. We want to, move the conversation into the inbox finance, not marketing, finance, and we want to add a label with churn. Done. Me always jumping back today. So like here we call this churn detection. And now we have a very nice churn detection. I will also show it how this will actually look like. So here this is now live and it's already running in the background. So, and here I actually already have this set up, but like I will actually delete it and show it to you. Now what you can even do is just have one custom conversation view here. I will create it really quick. So here we will just create a new view and we will call it churn. I don't know, something red. Alarm, and then we can make it public for all users so that everyone can access it. Then here we want to now only show conversations that have the churn label. That has, the churn label added to it. So done. So then I even have one, individual tab in the unified inbox where I only have churn conversations. So now, I will open the conversation again. Hi there. And then I will say, I want to churn. Yeah, probably I will first, now I have a question, and now I will just say, I want to what did we say? Terminate my subscription. Done. So let's see what happens now. So here again, I wrote hi there. The automation was triggered again because the conversation wasn't done. I have a question. Hi there, Tom at your service. The quirk is support bot in town. Then I just said, I want to terminate my subscription. Oh no, Mika, we will be sad to see you go, blah, blah, blah. Now, the label was added, churn, as you can see here. The conversation was moved, you can see here. And if we now go into churn, the conversation ends up in here. Now, if we go into, automations, of course, like the churn detection automation is already completed. But now here we see churn detection is completed. And now we can even go into the activities and can see exactly what was going on. So the new incoming message came in. The message content, was true because it was like terminate whatever. And then the conversation was moved to the inbox and the label was added. And that we can see exactly here, because here, as you can see, it's now in the inbox finance. Here, it has the churn label to it, and now we also have an individual custom tab here where all churn conversations are in. That's it. I hope that was what you were looking for. Nice. Yeah, Murphy, maybe give me a really quick feedback if that helped, or please any follow-up questions. But another one from Joshua. Sorry, I joined late, so not sure if this has already been covered. We have the AI live chat on our website. Is there a way to set up an automation to assign the chat to specific departments if the customer asks to speak to a real person? Exactly, yeah. That's also what we can do. I will show you quickly how I would approach this. So give me one sec. I'll share my screen again. So now, as not so many people are live today, probably because it's Friday, we can go more on like individual topics. So here, live chat automation, that's a very good one. Here you probably have, this setup in place. Now I have a lot of live chats in here. Let's just like select this one, and this we will always trigger. Let's actually do it only for new incoming conversation. Space kit. And now here we have the AI chatbot. So like this setup you said you currently have in place, we will use our webinar kitchen support, and we put on human handover. And you asked for, once the end customer asks for human help, what can we then do to kind of route the person asking for human help to the right department? And I would do it as follows. When the contact asks for human help, we just use the live chat send message node. And then here say, no worries, someone from our team will be in touch, but please select first one of the options. So now I make it a little nicer. Done. And now we can work with the buttons here. So like quick replies, here we can now say, I don't know what your options are, but option 1, option 2, whatnot, and then can very easily continue the automation afterwards by, doing whatever. So it's like the same setup as with WhatsApp. Here I can even make the options again mandatory for the user if he sends like something else, just like a regular message. Then here I can now say, move to inbox sales, move to inbox whatnot, and then even send up a follow message. So I can also show you how this will look like in action, because I have this demo website here, back. So this is just like for demo purposes. Here you can see now the live chat. Hi there. Now I will talk to the AI chatbot, the night kitchen bot, whatever I named it. This takes a second because in the testing environment. Hi there, I'm Tom, your friend in the neighborhood. Please connect me to an agent, like a human agent. Now I should receive, because the human handover now applies, I should get the options of option 1, option 2, option 3. And here, as you can see, I can now just select option 1. And now I think I didn't do any follow-up message, but yeah, I moved it to the inbox sales. So let's see whether this worked. Not sure if I'm currently in the... Really quick, where's the conversation? I think I'm not part of the inbox. No, here, sorry. Here we go. So like here is now the conversation with the live chat that I just demonstrated. And here you can see the conversation was moved from demo to sales, exactly how we specified it here in our live chat automation. So now I have to catch up with the chat really quick. Please also, Joshua, let me know if that helped or if there are any follow-up questions. Murphy, how can we automate sending a message to the customer after they fail to respond, say for 30 minutes or an hour, asking them to please respond, and if after another hour they don't, end the conversation? Also, if they come back, say 3 hours within a 24-hour period, can we have a situation where the automation doesn't run again? So like this is a little bit more complex, but I will get to that. And then, yes, you answered my first question very well. Also, how can we get the recording today? I need the recording will be accessible via the webinar page. So like maybe let's cover the easy one first. And we will also be posted always on YouTube. But the easiest way for you to get the recordings is just to go to this URL. And then here you can see all past events. So here you can even see the events from last year, and then you can just, request the recording, and then you have the recording. Exactly. Nice. Now let's go ahead and answer all your questions. So I think there are multiple. Another one here also, how do I create those custom views you have where churn is under? These you can easily just create here, so custom views in your Unified inbox, and then here you can just click on create, like here at the bottom left. Like these are only available from the professional plan onward. So if you're in the basic plan, you unfortunately don't have access to them. In case you are in professional or like higher plans, you can just create them very easily down here. Exactly. So let's go ahead now and get to the more complicated questions. How can we automate sending a message to the customer after they fail to respond, say for 30 minutes or 1 hour, asking them to please respond, and if another hour they don't, end the conversation? Exactly. So this you can very easily do in multiple ways. So in our case, let's go into the ticket. Let's go into here. So, here, for example, we ask a question. So here we ask a question, asking, for example, for the team size booking. So here, that's like the nice part about the setup. If the contact doesn't respond within 23 hours, with this, you are always able to do like a follow-up. So let's say here I want to be now a little bit, more aggressive. If the customer doesn't respond for 30 or 3 is maybe a little bit too aggressive. If the contact doesn't respond for 30 minutes, what we might want to do is, just like, can you please answer the question? Then you can even just do this. So like take this and jump back. And then it's basically, what now will happen is we ask the question, and then after 30 minutes of the customer not responding, we just write yet another message saying, hey, can you please answer the question? And then we jump back to this note, and then, it will say again, how many people would you like to invite to celebrate? So of course, like this continues, but at some point it will then, also stop. And you can even now we are getting a little bit advanced, to be honest. But what you now can do is like this always has a limit. So I think it will repeat 5 times, and if it's like this same node runs for 5 times, then it will just cut off. But now if you say, hey, for the second time you already want to cancel it, what we can do, this is now a little bit more complicated, but we can easily do this with an update contact. So here we will now keep track on how many times the contact went through this. So what we can do here is we will have a counter, call it counter of follow-ups, counter follow-up. And this is a number, which is important. So this is a number. I will create the contact attribute. And then every time, like, this is, set to 0. Every time we get here, I will just increase it by 1. And then, at some point afterwards, we want to filter by the contact attribute, by the counter follow-up. And then here we can say, hey, if it's, 1, equals is greater or equal, is less or equal than 1, we will jump back. Otherwise, we will continue somewhere else. So like here again, because that's now a little bit more complicated. So we are asking for the team size booking. Then if the contact hasn't replied within 30 minutes, we are sending a message saying, hey, can you please answer the question? Then, in order to, because you want to customize how often this can happen, we need like a counter for that. So we have a contact attribute here called counter follow-up. When they, didn't respond for 30 minutes, we will increase the count by 1, because previously it was 0, now it's at 1. Then here we check when it's 1 or less, 0, we jump back. But the second time, after yet another 30 minutes, it will be, greater than 1, and then we will continue the automation here. Of course, like one thing that we then have to do, one last thing that we have to do is at the start of the automation, always make sure to set the follow-up count to 0, so that, it's not manipulated from the last one. Definitely there was now a lot, but I think we have the recording to watch back, but I hope that makes sense. So that was your first question. Also, if they come back, say 3 hours within a 24-hour period, can we have a situation where the automation doesn't run again? Also, if they come back, say 3 hours within... Honestly, I think the second part I'm not really 100% getting. Maybe elaborate on that, Murphy, and give me a case, and then I can try building it. Also, if they come back, say 3 hours within a 24-hour... Hello, hello? Yes, we are still live. Hello, hello? Perfect. Yeah, I hope that Murphy's the only one having problems with seeing and hearing me. There was no indication that something was wrong on my end. Perfect. Yeah, for Joshua, it was still there. Perfect. Nice. Yeah, I hope the last part wasn't too much. Again, like, this is already a little bit more advanced, but I think especially, with like updating contact and then filtering stuff, that kind of shows you like the capabilities of like how flexible you are with building automations. Every time you think there might be, a blocker, there is usually a way of building it. We are currently working very, very hard on making it even easier for you to understand even like the more complex use cases. Of course, it also gets a little bit difficult at some point, because it gets more and more complex, and then also on the product side. Yeah, and we still want to keep it like rather simple for all of our customers. But yeah, I think that's something that we are working very hard on. Nice. Yeah. I'm sorry, Murphy, that you can't hear me, but like my microphone, my video seems to be fine. Not sure if it's your internet connection, but again, for that we will be having the recording. I will also follow up, and so make sure that you definitely will get the recording. Exactly. So despite that, are there any more questions? Otherwise, we are perfect in time. It's 2 p.m. No questions? Perfect. Nice. Again, I hope this was insightful. Please always, also give me harsh feedback on when it's too fast, too slow. If we should cover other topics. I'm always very, very open for any feedback, because the only reason why we are doing these sessions is really to give you as much product knowledge as possible so that you can really make the most out of Superchat. And yeah, that's it. I hope again it was insightful. I already wish you a nice Friday and a nice weekend, and hopefully see you very, very soon. And make sure to check also the other upcoming webinars. There will be another one regarding live chat, AI chatbot next week on Friday, also with myself. So yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. And that's it. Yeah, Murphy, that's also, we can definitely do that. Please just like also, I will write you a follow-up email, and then you can also maybe like suggest a couple of topics that we could cover. And yeah, thank you very much again, and have a nice day. See you next time. Bye bye.